This video is brought to you by War Thunder. Hey, my name is Jobby, and I still don't care about Power Rangers. But that didn't prevent the Flame Toys Go Kuri Combine DINO MEGAZORD from being one of my most anticipated figures of the last 3 years. But why the frick does it cost this much? Links in the description, good luck. And what's also in the description is War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. And it's available now for free on PC and consoles. Take control of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations. From the biplanes and armored cars of the 1920s to the fighter jets and tanks of today. And all these epic war machines aren't just boxes with hit points. They're individual components, like their engines, fuel tanks, weapons, even crew, are all susceptible to damage or disabling from enemy fire. And a variety of armor, shells, and missiles behave and sound like their real-world counterparts. Incredibly immersive. But if you wanted something more personalized, there's some in-depth customization featuring countless camouflages, historical markings, and decorations for all types of vehicles, including community-created ones. And all of this visual spectacle is heavily optimized. War Thunder runs on the in-house developed Dagos engine, which is designed to deliver a lag-free experience with impressive graphics and high frame rates even on lower-end machines. Very important if you've already spent your money on overpriced action figures. Join a worldwide community of over 70 million players in epic PvP battles. If you're the slightest bit interested in military history, there's no better game suited for you. So check out War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox now by checking the link in the description or the pinned comment. New and returning players who haven't played the game in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of a premium account. This is a limited time offer, so quit stalling and play War Thunder today. It lacks the flashy presentation of a Soul of Chogokin release, or even the miscellaneous goodies of a Kang Toys figure, which this thing won over Become a Member to Vote. Gives me the impression that Flame Toys, at Hasbro apparently, are so confident in their product that they'll let the figure and only the figure justify its price. So does it? No, but I was pretty happy with it in my Just Playing stream. Subscribe to Jobby too. So let's start off with the Triceratops. That looks like a TR for Triceratops. Isn't he a little cutie? That classic blue brick is reimagined as a slightly more rounded blue brick. Not much of a redesign here, but what is significantly different from the original, and I'm calling the Soul of Chogokin set the original for convenience, this guy doesn't have a chain horn feature. A certified downgrade from a much cheaper set. And on the topic of the horns, shit! You're gonna hear that one a lot today. But what this guy has over the original are actual legs. Not the most proportionate, but it's a sign of this set's priorities. As brickish as this thing is, there's still a dedication to POSEABLEity. Opening mouth, 0. Swivel at the head, goddammit. The neck can extend, which allows them to look up that far and look down that far. Or you could utilize the Megazord's ankle joint to make him look even more far up and not that much more down. And this just looks terrifying. Let's ignore that even happened. A midsection swivel, ball joint at the shoulder, allows for some rotation and a bend at the elbow, a toe bend, and the front legs can move out a decent amount. Pretty much the same articulation for the hind legs, and I suppose this counts as a pretty good spread. Hinge joint at the tail, hinge joint at the tip, which is more of a swivel here. Nothing mind-blowing, but I appreciate that it's there at all. What I don't appreciate is how small it is. Spoilers for you iPad babies. This guy forms the right leg of the Megazord, so you'd think he'd be bigger and heavier than he actually is, right? It does have some die-cast metal at the foot, head. And while we're talking about legs, let's move on to the other one. S for Sabertooth Tiger. What is it, Sesame Street? A great update to the original design, but the color is noticeably duller, which is also the case for the entire set, but I'm just a little more sensitive to the color yellow. I feel less represented here. I especially like the redesigned head. Looks a lot more cat-like this time around. They're the same creature. Kitty, kitty, kitty. More like goat? See, what the fuck? The Triceratops has the same gaping issue. Even Bandai had the decency to cover up these ports with flaps. The flame toys, put in your ass. Careful where you put your fingers, cause holy mother Mary, shit! She bites. The saber teeth are as dangerous as they look. And once again, some die-cast metal at the foot head. But the rest of the body is plastic, pretty lightweight, and pretty poseable. Opening mouth can look up that far and look down that far. The neck can extend, which allows it to look even more up and not much farther down. Doesn't look the best. And with the neck extended, it can move up from here. But that's more for the transformation. Can look side to side. And just like the Triceratops, you can take advantage of the ankle poseability to get even more up. Not bad. Ball joint at the shoulder. Bit hard to show you, but there is a strut that ball joint is connected to, which allows the whole shoulder to shift down. And a rotation at the actual ball joint, of course. Can't move out that far. Double bend at the elbow. A hinge joint at the wrist. A slight swivel here, which acts as a decent pivot. Swivel at the chest. Ball joint at the hind legs. Allows for a full rotation. Not a bad spread. A double bend at the knee. Hinge joint at the ankle. And another decent pivot. And a hinge joint at the tail. You can't roll the wheels here, but you're able to put them away if they really bother you that much, which the same courtesy was extended to the anus. The poseability is way better than the Soul of Chogokin version, but the size isn't. Again, just a tad too small for my taste. Just for comparison, here's another yellow leg. Now that is gonna be a giant robot. Anyway, pretty good range of articulation here, which I can't say for our next Zord. M for ya mama. Mastodon! Gotta say, this is my least favorite redesign of the set, and it's not because he's a glorified paperweight. Not an awful redesign by any means, but I'm just not that big of a fan of the big head. And when compared to that original design, this guy seems a lot less put together. Someone call his therapist. Very gappy from the top and the sides. Wish he looked more like a solid brick, but at least he feels like one. Got a bit of weight to him too, thanks to some internal die-cast metal. Surprising for the size. Tiny thing. And as previously implied, he's barely articulated, which is still more than the original. What's gonna be the shield handles on a hinge joint, which makes way for a slight opening mouth. And a hinge joint at the trunk. Allows for some nice curvy poses. Front legs are on a hinge joint so they can move out that far. Hinge joint here. Bend at the knee. Hinge joint at the tail. And it even has a swivel here. And it's even got an articulated brow. Yep. Me too, buddy. A basic waddling pose is all you could really get, but it's better than nothing, as opposed to the Pterodactyl, which is everything. The most radical redesign, and my favorite of the set, which really surprised me, since the original version was my least favorite of that set. I think a large part of my love comes from the large wingspan. Weird how the smallest Zord of the original set is now the biggest. And such a brilliant idea to incorporate the power sword into the overall design. Makes the Pterodactyl feel less like an afterthought, which makes it doubly disappointing that you can't put the guns anywhere. Even the original got that part right. So close to having 0 parts forming. Can't even fit these guns into the T-Rex. Well, maybe there's a separate pedestal or base that you can put the weapons on, and maybe you can act as a stand to get this thing into some flying poses. No! Wow. Feels nice to hold, very solid. Shit. And believe it or not, actually quite poseable. Our very first swivel at the head. They rotate a full 360. Hinge joint at the crest. No opening mouth. Shit. With this set's dedication to articulation, the lack of an opening mouth seems like an obvious oversight. Looks up that far and looks down that far. Rotation at the wing. Hinge joint allows it to move up and down that far. And a hinge joint allows for a beautiful wing spread. This thing even has a waist swivel. Ball joint at the barely even legs. They could have easily had a pair of feet fold out here to make it look more convincing. Why am I doing your job for you? And a hinge joint at the tail. Sword. As is, this is a great Zord, but so many missed opportunities, which I wouldn't be so hung up about if it wasn't for just thick with potential. And on that topic, our final Zord before the combination, the Tyrannosaurus. G for why's bro a caked up childbearing Pixar mom? Gotta take out the trash with that dumpy. God damn, I'm cooked. This is yet another great redesign, but just like the original, it's oddly proportioned. And the tail is Godzilla Ultima levels of ridiculous. ridiculous. But even with the weird proportions, it looks pretty damn good. Feels good as well. It better, because this is gonna be the core of the Megazord. Probably why the hips are so honest. Alright, I'm done. And definitely why it's so poseable. But there's no swivel at the head. Why? And can't even look up at all. But it can look down. Opening mouth. Slight hinge joint at the tongue. Might not be enough for a tongue flick, but we can try. Rotation at the arm. Arm moves out. Bicep swivel. Double bend at the elbow. Hinge joint at the wrist. Wrist swivel. Claws can open. Not individually articulated, but very sharp, of course. A stupidly tight waist swivel. That takes way too much effort to get going. There you go. The waist can extend, which allows for even more waist swivel. A full rotation, as a matter of fact. And allows for a great crunch and an arcing back. Work that thing, you little whore. There's a slight ratcheted hinge joint at the base of the tail, and a hinge joint, hinge joint, hinge joint, hinge joint, hinge joint, which allows for a decent curve. But each segment of the tail can extend. Which allows for a curve in the opposite direction, and slightly more side to side. Careful with these last two segments though, the instructions say they're delicate. I appreciate the honesty. Ball joints at the back skirts, ball joints at the side skirts. Every ball joint can be. Rotation at the leg, can't move back that far. A beautiful spread. Thigh swivel, double bend at the knee. The ankle can extend, which makes this ball joint easier to handle. Moves up that far and down that far. Pretty good pivot and some slight toe articulation. Poseability gives us a taste of what's to come, but the T-Rex specific parts could have been better. Could have been way bigger too. And you know what? Let's bring all of the Zords back here for a proper size comparison time. Here's Figma-matic Economy, Hayatoy's Godzilla, the Masterpiece MP10 Optimus Prime, and the Soul of Chogokin Dinozords. Great set of redesigns that still don't justify their price. But after their transformation, I can't say I regret it. Megazord power! Yatai! Jose Canseco! Leave a like if you get that one. Fuck, I'm old. Transforming the arms is a lot easier than the instructions would lead you to believe. Lock, then unlock, tab? What? I appreciate the English. Oh, shut the fuck up and just tab that shit. Broke the streak. After a fun, smooth, but sharp transformation, we have the Megazord, also known as Daizyujin for you Sentai fans. Yes, I see you, Stinky. Holy fuck, this thing is amazing! Definitely lives up to that promotional artwork. What a sick update to an already iconic design, which I'll always love and respect. It's the only reason why I got this one. Why do I do this to myself? But seeing that design reimagined with these sleek proportions, stupidly sharp angles, and the massive wingspan fires up my neurons some kind of freaking badly. Details from the original design are exaggerated and made more vicious looking, like the horns on the head, the teeth at the chest, and that ridiculous tail. Great idea to let it all hang out, by the way. Daddy told us not to be ashamed of our tails. And as lovely as these wings are, you can remove them for a more classic look, but these wings might be a little too removable. You'd think this tab at the Mastodon tail would plug into the slot on the wings, but unfortunately, that tab is for something else, which we'll get into later. These cannons are also removable, convertible, and holdable. Tabs right in. Don't think the original could hold his own cannons as guns, but I love this idea. He packed some heat. And of course, those aren't his only weapons. The power sword is as impressive as ever. Oi, bro. And the mammoth shield actually looks like a shield this time, rather than an elephant-shaped teacup. Can't for the life of me get this to plug into the forearm, but it's not necessary since his grip on the weapons is pretty solid. Just like the figure itself, which is such a relief. Combiners in general are hit or miss when it comes to their solidity, but thankfully this guy is well put together and quite hefty, thanks to the combined weight of all that die-cast metal. Oh yeah, I can definitely feel that. And surprisingly for a combiner, this guy is extremely and joyously poseable. Ball joint at the head. Every ball joint can be a swivel, looks up that far, and looks down that far. You can get the wings out of the way for a full 360 rotation at the shoulder. Got some back and forth movement, also known as a butterfly joint. Arm moves out. Hinge joint at the shoulder pad. Bicep swivel. Elbow swivel. A double bend. Ball joint at the wrist. Every ball joint can be. Ball joint at the thumb. Hinge joint. Hinge joint. Hinge joint at the thumb. Hinge joint at the base of all the fingers. And an additional hinge joint. Hinge joint. Hinge joint at each of the fingers, individually articulated. We've already covered the wings, so let me get them out of the way. And we've already covered the midsection articulation since it's the exact same as the T-Rex. But now the Pterodactyl's legs are right here. Ball joint, motherfucker. Flip those out to allow for a kick. Oh my god. I suppose you can just remove the front skirts to take full advantage of the leg poseability, which again, same as the T-Rex. Oh baby, yes! Unlike the Silver Chogokin set, the legs do not well, they're a lot more solid due to the lighter weight of these lower legs. And the lower legs do not interfere with the knees at all. No droopiness here. They bend when you want them to. And something that absolutely blew my nuts off, that swivel from the Triceratops and the Sabertooth Tiger acts as an ankle swivel here. Most Transformers figures don't even have this. You get a very nice pivot, and the foot can extend to allow for a greater range of up, down, and even more pivot, kind of. Same articulation at the other foot. Poseability here is absolutely amazing. You can tell that this was specifically designed to be as poseable as possible. Heavy as it is, it's still lightweight enough to mount it on a stand for even more display options. And a stand should have been included, right? As amazing as this was to pose, it also could have been bigger. Come on. Size comparison time again. Here's Monica Godzilla Prime, my previous review, the SH Monster Arts Burning Godzilla, and the soul of Chogokin Megazord. I think this is what the kids call being mocked. Man, I love this thing, but I wish it were bigger and didn't cost a significant portion of my meager income. Well, he's got one more mode, so that should make it worth it, right? No. And here we have the tank mode, also known as the Dino Tanker, also known as the Dino Orgy, also known as not a real mode.
But Debbie, even I know the Dino Tank usually precedes the Megazord. Why are you just talking about it now?
Just following the instructions, bitch. At least it maintains the solidity of the Megazord mode, holds together way better than the Soul of Chogokin version. The thighs even lock into place to prevent unnecessary swiveling. Unnecessary swiveling, that combination of words seems blasphemous. What the hell are we even talking about anymore? This is a fantastic set and would be a must-buy if it didn't fuck off. As someone who collects niche, overpriced mechas, I'd recommend waiting a little bit for a significantly cheaper KO to come out. Allegedly. In Minecraft. You didn't hear it from me. For everyone else, links in the description. Oh, fuck.
Dragon shit!
And don't forget to check out War Thunder. Thanks again for sponsoring today's video. Remember to check out War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. And use my link in the description or the pinned comment to register. New players or returning players who haven't played for 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms, including multiple premium vehicles, in-game currency, and much more. Big old thanks to all my members and patrons. All you deluxe class members and double kiss patrons should be scrolling on screen in a bit. As for my top paying contributors, here's all your shoutouts. Starting with my leader class members, Scarlet Scout 259, Phoenix Logie, Super Duper Boy, Breakaway TA, Mothman, Sleepy Hot Coco, Convertibot Reviews, Incinerator, Mediocre Memories, Roblox Moblox, God of all Daleks, Neon Nugget, Cursed, Guerrero Power, Joseph Leroy, Lord Tekkit, Arch Cyber Knight Mikey, Crazy Dia 64, The One Who Laughs, Archaon 5, Kana Candy, Saber Redfin, Nathalia, Dim Sum Garbage, Melania Blade of Makella, Boxhead, SSJ Broly 2001, Leo, Dan, Cagnaros, Anime Gods of Gaming, Astrobeast 057, Cam After Dark, Squartzilla, Toy Skirts TV, Kotaku, John Birchfield, Luxana, Jonas RT, Kamen Rider KFP, and Zelda Gamer LD401. As for my Triple Kiss patrons, Delta Vortex, Base Crink 69, Incinerator 4444, CC6738, Mike, Mr. Jackzo, Kieran Hurley, Mast, Fate, Boney's Network, Austin Sabatino, Squartzilla, Flowing Games 101, Tiger Boy, Z Naki Shark Z, Smithy Killer, Tarn the Robot Lair, Morris Voices, Gorgangus, Josh Pink Floyd, Cam After Dark, Dim Sum Garbage, Genius Jedi, Cagnaros, The Blue Pixeling Entertainment, Proxy Fox, Luxana, Need More Time 11, That Meth Addict, Sausage Fiesta, Scarlet Scout, Artist 101, Harry McStrange, Alex Hewitt, Emperor Alexander 99, Josh Montemayor, Nathalia Munoz, Daniel Morris, Mighty Sneck, Cruz Sissy the, Ken Rodman, Rain Kun, Jawan, Striker 374, Mingy Caesar, Mr. Jenkins, Wheat Horse Theo, and Michael McLaughlin. Thank you for another month of support. It really means a lot. And I'll see you next month for another round of reviews. Not all toy reviews. As for the fail box, it'll also have to be next month, because next Friday I'll be in Vegas for Level Up Expo. I'll see some of you there. And on the weekend, I'll be at Sick New World. Love me that edgy boy music. Catch me if you can. Please don't punch out my teeth in the mosh pit.